Well, hello everyone. Welcome to the long-awaited 100 video special. Yep, it has taken me like 2 or 3 weeks just to get this video done out of the way, especially since I have plenty of video ideas kind of on hold because of this special. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the little the little intro that I had at the beginning. There's like a 60-minute clip just typing the 100 video special thingery and such. But yeah, anyways, a little history on this channel. I created this channel on May 11th, 2020, and around that time I created a channel just to watch videos, but most importantly I wanted to comment on several videos, including some from my brothers, obviously, if I can mention that. But anyways, I had the channel for at least 2 years until one day in 2023. It was in May of 2023. I uploaded my very first video content on the channel. And what kind of video is that, you ask? Well, that very first video, which I published on May 19th of 2023, I believe, it involves none other than this, I believe. I think it was this one. Yeah, it was none other than this little computer, obviously, that I turned it on and booted up into a little operating system known as Windows 98, which released in 1998, but this is the second edition, so this one came out in 1999. But yeah, so I uploaded that first video featuring this, starting up with Windows 98 second edition, and then I kind of followed up with several other videos of me starting this up with the few operating systems I had on here, because this was a sextuple booted system at the time. But anyways, yeah, not only that, I did upload not only videos, I did upload shorts, which I did kind of uploaded almost concurrently with my main long form regular video content. But yeah, enough about the channel's history. What are we going to be doing in today's special, obviously? Well, I've been meaning to do this for a long while. Why not we take a look at some of the computers that I have in my retro computing collection. I mean, mine's isn't that a lot, but hey, let's go check it out, shall we? Alright, so we're going to be starting off with these two retro computer systems right here. So what these two computers are is, these are the Compaq Presario 7000 series computers. So to put it in summary, these computers were introduced in mid-2000, the year 2000 obviously, and they were in production up until late 2001, around September 2001, I believe, was when they were replaced with the 8000 series. But anyways, these were Compaq's high-end systems of the time, before its acquisition by HP in 2002. And these computers were pretty much the performance-oriented systems, as they had better processors and discrete graphics cards of the time, obviously. So yeah, and these two systems right here, I had them for at least 2 years. Wow, hard to imagine, because I got both of these in 2022, obviously. And the first one that I got is that one right there. This is the Compaq Presario 7000 with an AMD Athlon processor at 800 megahertz, which I quickly named this particular Compaq as the AMD Compaq because of its AMD Athlon processor. So this computer has a AMD Athlon at 800 megahertz, self-explanatory. It also has NVIDIA, well, not NVIDIA, because I used to have a GeForce card in here up until this point, but it originally had an NVIDIA TNT2 Model 64 card, which I swapped out for a GeForce 2MX 200. And what's in here currently, it's basically the ATI Radeon 9100 card that we installed in a previous video of mine here on the channel. And this was the very first computer of my retro computing collection. So this is basically my pride and joy. Pretty much these two computers right here are basically my pride and joy. They're pretty much the staple of my channel, obviously, because they have been kind of prominent in most of my videos here on the channel, obviously. But yeah, either way, yeah, I had this for 2 years now, and it's still going great. It's still working fine. I'll show you booting up in a moment. But these are the other peripherals that I got for this thing. So I got the Compaq Internet keyboard, you know, the atypical Compaq keyboard of its time, and a Compaq Logitech mouse, standard for the era, and a Compaq NV540 monitor. This is a, I believe, a 14-inch CRT monitor. It's got an integrated microphone right there. It's even got side-mounted speakers, because this monitor has side mounts for the speakers, when that used to be a thing back then. These are JBL Platinum Series speakers. They have headphone jack and a line-in jack, and this is a volume balance meter, so that one of the sounds can play on the left only, or on both, or on the right, I believe. But yeah, and it's plugged in directly into the monitor. So yeah, why not we get this thing a little startup here. I have not powered this thing on in a while, but we're gonna see if it powers up. And it still does. My goodness, you know, I gotta say, it does sound a little bit noisy, you know. Like I mentioned in my previous videos, it kind of sounded like an aircraft carrier or something like that. But anyways, I got the computer up and running, and these are the three operating systems that I have on here. Windows XP Professional, Windows 2000 Professional, Windows 98. I will go into Windows 98 for now. Yes, it does have the Plus package installed, and this is Windows 98 Second Edition, which is an incremental updated version of Windows 98 that was released, I think, in mid-1999, obviously. But yeah, this is the first retro computer, as I mentioned, in my collection. I had this for a little while now, and it's still working great. You know, I installed plenty of stuff on it, including a couple of old games that I have around the house, and they all work on the hardware, because this is real hardware pretty much, not VM or emulation. And by VM I mean virtual machine, because I've been using VMs for a while, a long while, up until this point. Yeah, there's the login screen, and I'll hit escape. There's the Windows 98 start sound. But yeah, I hit escape to go directly into the default user account, because that's just how Windows 9X is built, basically. But yeah, well, here we are. And don't mind the background that I set, but this is obviously based on the Cyborg Kudo-chan manga and anime series, a very obscure one, in fact. Features both the titular character and Nana-chan, the one in the red, obviously. It's a lamp rabbit. I didn't make this image myself, but I used it as a background wallpaper because it just looks cool, especially when I have it out like this. But anyways, good old Windows 98 is pretty much up and running. Of course, you can tell a bunch of stuff that I have on here, I have installed on here. I basically got standard Office suite, so I got Office 97 and Office 2000 installed on here. I do also have Microsoft Bob. That was a thing back then. I do also have benchmarking tools, 3D Mark 2001, SC, and PC Mark, and stuff like that. We installed all these in the video that I installed the ATI Radeon card. Compaq remote support, utilities, and whatnot. But anyways, I do have DOSBox installed on here. I got a couple of internet browsers, obviously, and some PlayStation 1 emulators. Yeah, I have a PlayStation 1 emulators right here, EPSXE. That used to be a popular PS1 emulator back then. WinRAR, Microsoft Agent Scripting Helper, Audio Manager, that's pretty much like a third-party audio player or something. Cabela's 4x4 Off-Road Adventure 2. I got this game to work on this hardware, and it does. Age of Empires 2, Age of Kings. I used to play that a lot back in the late 2000s. And yeah, nothing really much to say about this one. Now I'm gonna go ahead and shut this thing on down, and I'll move on to the next computer. Windows is shutting down. Alright, on to the next thing. Alright, next up is the Intel powered Compaq Presario 7000 computer. I got this computer months after I got this AMD Compaq right here. I got this in June of 2022, and I got this originally as like a, you know, like an experimental retro computer, obviously just to tinker around with and such, because for a long time, for a little while, this was my main retro computer, obviously, and I just basically have this as my secondary. So I basically have two retro computing systems. This one's serving my primary and this one's serving as secondary at the time. But as time progressed, this eventually became my main retro computing system based on Compaq computers. But anyways, what this thing has, it has an Intel Pentium 3 processor at 933 megahertz, copper mine based. It has a NVIDIA GeForce MX 440 AGP8 speed card in here. And I did not mention this. This one has a 500 gig hard drive in it, while this one has two hard drives. So one of them is a 500 gig. Well, one of them is a 160 gig, and the other one's a 500 gig, pretty much. And yeah. Also, this thing has a dual floppy drive setup, because I eventually made this happen like a while back. I originally wanted to do it. I originally wanted to take this floppy drive out and put it in here, but at the time I didn't realize I didn't have the proper floppy drive ribbon cable at the time, so that's why I kind of put on hold until I got this floppy drive. And I got the proper floppy disk drive cable, obviously. And I eventually got that whole setup to work. And yeah, this thing also has 640 megs of RAM, and that one has 512, obviously. But anyways, enough rambling. Let's go ahead and power this thing on. Oh, you may notice this camera right here. This was my main camera that I used for most, if not all, of my videos on the channel. But back in April of this year, this suddenly shut itself off. It pretty much just died on me while recording. But oh well, I guess it's just here for aesthetic purposes. Just to remind myself of the times that I used to record stuff on this thing. Fun times. But anyways, boot menu. So we got I got Windows Embedded POS Ready 2009 on here, XP Home Edition, XP Professional, 2000 Server, 2000 Professional, and that is Windows 98 second edition, which I can't access it, unfortunately, because when I select this is what happens. Invalid system disk. So it's pretty much non-accessible. I do need to like reinstall everything on this Intel Compaq after I film this special, obviously. that'll be for another time, obviously. But for now, let's just go into Windows 2000 Professional, because it's pretty much one of the only pre-XP operating systems, working pre-XP operating systems that I have on here, obviously. Now, Windows 2000 Professional was meant as a business-oriented operating system, you know, for like business computers and laptops, obviously, because that was the one sticking point for Windows 2000 back in the day. It's because Windows 2000 offered plenty of features that are suitable for the laptop market, you know, of its time, obviously. So like plug-and-play support and like other laptop-related things. But anyways, it's starting up. And there's that background that a lot of people there's that background that a lot of people have been commenting about on my channel, obviously, just because it just looks so interesting. I got a lot of comments about that background, me using this background. But anyways, press Control-Delete to begin. Control-Delete helps keep your password secure, yada yada yada. Let's just log in. Ah, yes, that sound kind of takes me back, obviously, because I may have mentioned this before, but my cousins used to have this custom-built computer in the mid-2000s that ran Windows 2000 and XP. That was probably the first time that I saw Windows 2000, obviously, because it was in dual boot configuration. And that's also kind of why I'm into multi-boot configurations now. But anyways, I got up and running here. Again, this background is based on Cyborg Kudo-chan, manga anime series, an obscure one, obviously. Again, with the titler character and Nana-chan, the lamp rabbit. Kudo himself is wearing a scarf, obviously. That was a thing hinted at the series, but yeah, obviously, again, I did not make this image myself, but I did use it as a background wallpaper. It has been altered slightly to match Windows 2000's default color scheme, known as Windows Standard. So this one, it looks good. Anyways, what do I have on here? Not that much, because I did reinstall a lot. I did reinstall the OS at some point, but anyways. Go to Start, go to Programs, and I basically got all versions of Microsoft Office, starting from Office 97 up to Office 2003. So, yeah. I got IE6 and Outlook Express 6 installed. I do also have Microsoft Virtual PC on here, because, yeah. And a couple benchmarking tools. I do have Age of Empires 3 and the not Age of Empires 3, Age of Empires 2, Age of Kings, and its Conquerors expansion, obviously. And I do have Microsoft Work Suite 2006 installed. I do have Firefox and Opera, Windows Stat, IRFM and I do have Google SketchUp on here. Because, yeah. I do also have the Logitech QuickCam thing installed, because I do have the Logitech QuickCam thing right up here. This is a atypical Logitech QuickCam of its time. Matches with the aesthetic of this monitor, which, by the way, all these peripherals are pretty much the same as that of the AMD Compaq right here, except with a few differences. Obviously, we got the same Internet keyboard and mouse, Compaq Internet keyboard and mouse, but this keyboard looks a lot wider and cleaner than that one, obviously, because this one, if I can saturate the colors a little bit, that is pretty much yellow. And this one, if I saturate the colors a bit, it's pretty much white. If I can get that in post-production, but yes. And this is the monitor that I'm using right here. This is a Compaq MV740 monitor. This is a 17-inch Compaq monitor from the early 2000s. this monitor also has JBL Platinum Series speakers because, again, this monitor has side mounts for these types of speakers, which, again, you don't really see that in a lot of modern monitors nowadays because we have speakers that are pretty much integrated into the monitor, or it just has separate speakers. But anyways, these are the speakers that go on the monitor. Again, this one has a headphone jack and line in ports, if I can get the camera to zoom in. And this one, unlike the other one, has a power button instead of a volume balancer. But yeah, also this one's also a bit cleaner, except for those markings. That's my tripod. But anyways, this one has markings on it, unlike the other one. But again, this looks a lot whiter than that one because, if I turn up the brightness, the saturation on this, it's very yellowed between that section and then this one. Turn up the saturation a bit, it's also a bit whiter. Yeah, if I can get that in post-production. Yes, this is my Intel Compaq running. It's still working, obviously, though this computer did have its own quirks. For one thing, I tried to get this thing up to its maximum of 768 megabytes of RAM. It was having various stability problems, and at one point I had a Windows Vista installed on here as an experiment. It did run fine, though I wanted to really use the Aero and desktop composition capabilities. So that's why I had to install a GeForce 66. It's a GeForce 6200 card that I have in here. It's a 256 megs. It did work, though it was kind of having some stability problems. And I did install a 512 version of that card. It didn't work. And I tried installing another 256 card, kind of having the same stability problems, even after I took Vista out of this thing. But that's why I have the GeForce 4 MX440 card in here, because it just works. It just simply works. No stability problems at all. But anyways, yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. I would like to show you the other OSs on this thing, but I just wanted to keep this video a little bit short, but I know it's going to be a bit long. But anyways, let that power off. So yeah, that's my Intel Compaq and pretty much these two Compaq systems. But these two are not the only computers in my retrocomputing collection, because I got plenty of others that I'm going to be showing you in this video. So let's go ahead and check those out ourselves. Alright, so here's our next retrocomputing item in the collection. Now this one is it's a lot newer than those two Compaq systems that I have. And this one is a laptop, obviously. This one is the HP Pavilion DB2620 US laptop. It is based on the DB2000 series of HP laptops around the mid to late 2000s. So I think this particular laptop was manufactured around 2007, mid to late 2007. But yeah, and this laptop is pretty special because my parents obviously got this laptop in around late 2007, I would likely assume, because there was a restore disc for this thing that my parents created back in October of 2007. I definitely made copies of it, so that way I can pretty much restore this to factory condition, but as far as software goes. But anyways, this laptop kind of holds a special place in my brain and heart, obviously, because, well, it was one of those laptops that I remember using quite often back then, because I was using this concurrently with the HP Pavilion not DB. It was the HP Pavilion Elite M9040M N laptop, not laptop. The HP Pavilion Elite M9040N desktop. Sorry, I kind of got stuttered a little bit, but that I was using this alongside that desktop computer that we got in early 2008, and yeah, it served me well. This thing did came with Windows Vista Home Premium, obviously. I believe it was RTM, and yeah, many people have their own opinions on Vista because it was not a particularly good operating system at best, because when compared to XP. But for me, coming from an early 2001 Compaq system like these ones here, everything felt new, pretty much. You know, everything was like newly designed and whatnot. It was pretty much a stark contrast. But anyways, enough of that. Let's open it up. So this is what the computer looks like. I obviously had it like this because oh wow, it's very dusty. You can tell that this thing has been sitting for a long while, but anyways, this is what it looks like. Don't mind the dust. It's got a HP Pavilion DB2000 badge up there. If my camera can focus on that. Come on. I just gotta do a manual focus here. There we go. HP Pavilion DB2000. And zooming out here, this is the whole computer. It's got like it's pretty much your standard laptop with a keyboard, a trackpad, and a built-in screen. This one also has a webcam and I believe 2 microphones, I would assume, because there's one right here and one on the other one. Anyways, yeah, let's go ahead and power this thing up. I've not powered this thing up in a while. You know, I did actually got this thing to work, because like for the longest time this thing has been sitting in storage. It was sitting on top of my old daily, oh yeah, the CMOS battery is dead, and I know for sure. Of course, this thing does have a dead screen, because what you just saw there, the screen lit up for a few minutes, for a few seconds, and then it shut itself off. So I'm pretty much, I thought it was the inverter, but then I replaced the inverter, it still produced the same thing. So I'm likely believing it's the screen. So I would replace that sometime later. But yeah, if I get my light up here, I'll see. I don't usually see it, but I can kind of see a little bit. Yep, I can kind of see it. It says error check date and time, blah blah blah. Can't really see it because the screen's positioned down like this, because if I position it a little bit more up, then my entire self will be seen on screen. But I'm not particularly ready for that, but you know, one day. Alright, and as soon as I go in here, I believe it's gonna go into the yep, it's gonna go into the boot thing. Now let me excuse me for a moment, I need to readjust the focus. Alright, so that's the standard boot menu. It's got earlier versions of Windows Vista Ultimate, Windows 7 Ultimate. I believe it's gonna auto go into that. Yep. And we're gonna go into Windows XP Professional. It's been a while since I touched this. Now, yes, this computer did originally came shipped with Windows Vista, and I used it for a while. But as soon as after I kind of got this computer working, I didn't install Vista back on this thing. But I also wanted to kind of try out Windows XP and see if this particular laptop can support it. And it seems like it can. Whoa. Oh my goodness. That is very, very bad. But yeah, this thing it tends to do like that when it has not been powered on for a long time. Yeah, I feel like this thing is already going on its way out, but as soon as I turn it off and turn it back on, then it starts going back normal. So there's definitely something wrong with this thing. But hey, it still works. So I guess the only way to fix this is to actually pretty much. Oh, is this thing on? Yes, it is. Yeah, it is not. It is not healthy. Oh, I cannot see that. Yeah, that is something that's particularly gone wrong here. Because let's see. I believe, yeah. Which option is it? I believe it should be, yeah, it should be, because I can barely make out, by this glitched up laptop. It should be, come on, oh yeah, I can see from here. That's standby, that's turn off, that's restart. Yeah, I'll turn it off here. Because this thing is so distorted, even the sound is pretty much distorted to the point where it's just like, it sounds so eerie-some. Well, yeah, it's October, so why not? But anyways, it is waking up like sick, like literally sick. And by sick, I mean not like nice, but actually literally sick, like it's feeling ill. But no matter, I just basically restart and then go into the same operating system, and let's take a look and see if that fixes it. Now this is Windows XP Professional Service Pack 3, obviously the latest version of Windows XP. Now Windows XP was pretty much one of the most popular operating systems from Microsoft Windows back then. It released in 2001, and see what I mean? We fixed itself. We fixed it. We fixed the really ill problem. So now it's just starting up as normal. You know, I'm thinking, yeah, that tends to happen when this computer is not been powered on for quite some time, for a long time. Because not only that this thing has a dead battery, well, not only this thing has a dead CMOS battery, it also has a dead battery on it too. Because the battery on this thing has not been, well, it's been dead for a long time. So I'm going to be replacing both batteries on this thing. The main PC, the main laptop battery, and the CMOS battery. I will do that at some point. But yeah, I have plenty of things set in stone for this 2007 HP laptop that I used back in the day. Alright, here we are, running Windows XP Professional. And it does run perfectly, you know. It runs reasonably well for it being like an operating system originally released in 2001. And I could show you that this is the Service Pack 3. Yep. I even got OEM information on here too. So yeah. I can go ahead and WinVer. Whoops. I mistyped it. But there we go. Microsoft Windows version 5.1 build 2600. Service Pack 3. This thing has 2 gigs of RAM. This one has a It has a AMD Pavilion 64X2 laptop processor at, I believe, 1.9. Yes, 1.9. It has a NVIDIA M-Force chipset too, so yeah, this was just pretty much a pretty basic install of Windows XP Professional on here. I do have HP battery check on here, so I can check. Yep, it's saying replace. The battery check has detected a failure. The battery may be covered by your HP warranty. Total battery power remaining 0. Well, we can also check from here. Open power meter. Yep, 0%. And there's a red cross on that thing. Power state online critical. Yep, this battery is dead. So as soon as I unplug this from the power source, this thing will shut itself off. So, and I believe the clock is reset, so it's reading yeah, Monday, January 1st, 2007, if that can focus. Yeah, it's not showing up. The tooltip's not showing up. It usually shows up. There we go. So I had to right click. But yeah, it's reading Monday, January 1st, 2007, because this one has a dead CMOS battery in it. I'll probably find a new battery on, like on eBay or something like that. New programs. Yeah, I got Tweak UI, net weighting and whatnot. But yeah, XP works on this thing. Standard XP. Logging off. Windows is shutting down. Yep. Windows is shutting down. And let me readjust the camera. And let's show you the other OSs that I have on here. Because I do obviously have Windows Vista installed on this thing. You know, because since I used the quick restore thing, well, not the quick restore thing, I used a recovery disk that was created for this thing. I was able to get the original install. Whoa, what's that? Windows failed to start, etc, etc, etc. Let's do restart Windows. I can't really see that, but it says, oh, safe mode. Yeah, start Windows normally. I would believe I just hope I didn't press the wrong selection. Wow, I can barely see that. Well, I can see the. Yep, there it is. I can see the Windows Vista boot screen. There's just simply the incremental loading bar and the copyright notice. Nothing too special. Imagine if it did have a entirely different boot screen. Yes, it is running on the Windows Vista Ultimate SKU, but it was originally Home Premium because I've upgraded the edition to Ultimate to get the full Windows Vista features available. Yeah, Windows Vista Ultimate, AMD Pavilion X64X, AMD Pavilion 64X2 TL58, 2 GB RAM, NVIDIA GeForce 7150M with the N4 630M chipset. So yeah. Anyways, yeah, these are all the. Let's see what we have in here as far as pre-installed programs. Well, we do have HP Quick Play, but we also got plenty of other things, which pretty much just like other third-party stuff that most OEM manufacturers like to put back in the 2000s. People will call it as bloatware because like they take up so much space. It's pretty much programs that really aren't that useful in the long run, or just like trialware. So that's why most people always just goes for a clean install of Windows. It's just install whatever they want, pretty much. But what this comes with, I can show you. Well, at least I can show you a few. Well, we got HP Total Care, HP Full Smart, pretty much just HP stuff on here. My HP games, this is pretty much just like Wild Tangent stuff on here. I used to play some of these a lot, though I know some people are likely going to complain about this. The set of games on here, but yeah, well, I got Reborn Installer here to basically uninstall some of the bloatware on this thing. Because that usually helps. And this thing originally came with Norton Internet Security, but I removed it using the Norton removal tool. And the Roxio Creator Basic and stuff. I do also have Windows Live installed on here. So Windows Live Family Safety, Mesh, and Writer. I basically have Windows Live 2011, so I got all the Windows Live stuff on here. As far as HP goes, I got HP Update and whatnot. As for games, yes, the same thing here. What this thing also comes is The Sims Life Stories. This particular install of Vista that's pre-installed from that restore thing. This thing came with The Sims Life Stories. It's basically like a version of The Sims 2, obviously, in a more limited fashion. I may install the full version of The Sims 2 on here at some point, but not right now. But that's kind of my way into The Sims 2. Obviously, I do have The Sims 3 I installed on my main computer. I played that I played that occasionally. Oh, I opened up Control Panel just to see what happened here. So yeah, that's pretty much the applets. I do also have Legacy Update on here, because that's why I used to get updates working on this thing. Yeah, I didn't want to show that. It's a good thing that I just moved my camera out of the way. But yes, this thing does connect up to the internet. Now, at one point, I was able to get these two Compaq systems up and running into the internet. It's all thanks to the internet router that I used to have in my room at the time. It was a cube-shaped internet router that I conveniently called the Internet Cube, and it had Ethernet ports. And that's how I was able to connect these two machines up into the internet, obviously. You know, it may not be as useful as it used to be back then, but hey, it's interesting nonetheless. This thing does have a wireless card, so it can connect up to the internet here. And yeah, there's a problem with this website security update. We'll just continue. I'll just continue. Why not? Just go to, oh, another certificate error. Yeah, it opens up the ALL website just to see. Yeah, we can see that on here. But let us go into Google, because why not? Googler.com. Yeah, google.v.com. See if that works. That's pretty much like, oh, yeah, I continue. Yep, Google works. Google works on here. And I can type in HP Pavilion. And there we go. HP Pavilion and such. Now, there's a Wikipedia page on here which I cannot access because it uses an SSL connection not recognized by this browser. I do have MyPal on here, which I'll go ahead and launch that. It does work on Vista too. It was pretty much meant for XP, but it does work on here. But this connection is untrusted. There's no way how I can go that. Oh, Yes, invalid security certificate. So pretty much, the connections on this thing, it's pretty much so unfortunately that doesn't work. But you know, on XP, I do have MyPal installed on there, and I will be able to access that. What's particularly interesting, it has the easy internet. It has shortcuts for high-speed services and easy internet services. This one in particular, it has that flash animation that comes up when you click on this thing that says View Demo. And I vividly remember seeing the demo from back in the day. Both, I think, it was mainly on that HP desktop from 2008. That's how I remember it. But yeah, I'm not going to click on that for now. Yes, I want to exit easy internet services. But yeah, this is pretty much the original install Windows Vista that I basically upgraded to Windows Vista Ultimate, because it was originally Home Premium. Yeah, Windows Vista Ultimate, Service Pack 2, etc, etc, etc. Open up WinVer. Service Pack 2, because this thing, this install originally came with Windows Vista Home Premium RTM. I updated it to Windows Vista Ultimate Service Pack 2. And yeah, it's still running as is. I do also have Windows 7 installed on this thing, but I'm not going to show that right now. Either way, because I wanted to keep this video a bit short, but it's already beginning to start as long as it is. So, anyways, I'll shut this down. And yep, shutting down. And while I'm at it, since we've already taken a look at this laptop, it's time to move on to the other computers in my retrocomputing collection. So let's go there. Alright, and here we are. Now these two laptops may look similar to each other, but they're actually different on the inside. What these are is these are the HP Pavilion DV9000 series of laptops. So these are pretty much like the 17-inch bigger screen 17-inch models of this particular laptop. This is the 14-inch HP laptop, and these are 17-inch HP laptops. They also have a 15-inch version of these types known as the 6000 series, though I don't have one in my collection, and I probably won't, but maybe soon when I have the chance. But anyways, let's start off with this one right here. This is the HP Pavilion DV9417 CL laptop. I got this shortly after I got this laptop to work, and I got it because you know, I kind of wanted to have a laptop that's like this but in a working condition. But also the one other thing that I kind of got this laptop in the first place is because in the aforementioned high-speed services thing, you know, when you click the view demo, it had the image of this laptop, this particular model series of laptop, as in its demonstration. Obviously, that's kind of why I got it. And yeah, so this is pretty much a bigger version of this laptop, which I will have to unplug, which means it'll lose its charge, because this thing originally didn't have a battery. I had one here a while back and it worked for quite some time, but then it recently stopped working. But anyways, yeah, it's a 17-inch laptop, so it's got more ports, and it's got a little latch opener because of how big this thing is. And yeah, this is what it looks like. This is what it looks like opened up. It's fairly big compared to this thing, though it's not as big as the other HP laptops that were also produced around this time, like the HP HDX 9000 series laptop. Those are like 20-inch multimedia laptops that are way bigger than this one because of its large screen size. I would love to get my hands on one of those someday when they're available, but maybe for another time, especially when I have the money, since I don't have the money at the moment. But yeah, anyways, I got the laptop up and running here. Well, not up and running, I got the laptop all set up. I do have it connected up to I have an external mouse plugged into this thing because the trackpad on this thing is not as good as this one on here, and especially that one right there. But we'll get into that once I power up the system. So let's go ahead and do that now. Also, I should mention, this used to have a spinning hard disk drive. It was a 500 gig spinning hard disk drive, and I put a oh, it's resuming from hibernation, because I put this on hibernation, probably in preparation for this, but oh well. But at least we get to see what we have on here in store. Yep, we are booted into Windows 2002 Professional because I used a transformation pack that pretty much turns this into Windows 2000 style look. But yeah, I got up and running here. I don't even need to like select the operating system and watch it boot up, because this one resumed from hibernation. But anyways, I got the computer up and running here. But anyways, yeah, I originally had a spinning hard disk drive in this system. It was a 500 gig spinning hard disk drive, a Seagate one. I swapped it out for the 500 gig SSD SanDisk Ultra 3D SSD that I have on here, and it's worked fine pretty much. I particularly quite enjoyed the speed of the SSD on this thing because I was running on the spinning hard disk drive, and I kind of want to get my hands on an SSD for me to try out on this thing, and it worked. And just recently, I had gotten an SSD, another SSD that I originally was originally put on this thing, but as soon as I realized that this thing would not even accept it in any way whatsoever, it had problems, I eventually decided to put it in this thing. And guess what? You're not gonna believe this. I'll show you. Disk management. Yep. Your eyes are not fooling you. We are actually running on both. We are actually running 2 disks at once. Yeah, the system properties. I even had because I want to match the aesthetic, I had the old the old image for the OEM info for HP. But yeah. But yes, your eyes are not deceiving you. We are actually running on 2 SSDs on this thing, which is which is pretty much amazing to me. I never ran this laptop with 2 SSDs or even 2 hard drives even, but 2 SSDs on this thing, oh my goodness. I'm just so stoked. Especially since when I put in here the first time and I suddenly found out that it was able to boot in with 2 hard drives or 2 SSDs in this configuration without any kind of like slowdown and such. I was amazed, because I did try this with spinning hard disk drives and that didn't work, but with this dual SSD setup, it worked flawlessly pretty much. So I'm surprised. But yeah, I got Windows XP with the Windows 2000 branding and such all running up on here. I do have all the usual stuff on here, including the first Age of Empires game and its expansion, Rise of Rome expansion, even including Age of Empires 2 and the Conquerors, and even Cabela's 4x4 Off-Road Adventure 2, because that also works, and 4x4 Limited Evolution, can't forget that. But I also had this, Need for Speed Underground and Need for Speed Underground 2. Need for Speed Underground 2 in particular was the game that I used to play on the PS2 back in the day. I had a lot of fun memories with playing that. But Need for Speed Underground, in particular, I only tried the demo. It was on that Acer laptop, and yeah, I also have The Sims 2 on here because the version of The Sims 2 on this, The Sims Life Stories is based on The Sims 2, and well, it's pretty much like a slimmed down version. But this one, I had the full version of The Sims 2 on here, and I got all the other stuff that I won't mention due to me trying to slim down the time frame of this video, but it's gonna be long pretty much. It's probably almost gonna be like an hour when I put this thing together, but yeah. But basically what I have here, I basically have installed of four XP versions. So I basically have two XP Professional installs of XP Professional, and I got Windows XP Meteor Center Edition 2005, then I got Windows Vista and Windows 7, pretty much. Both 32 and 64-bit versions. But anyways, yeah, there's not much to say about this laptop, because I've been taking around this so much that I can't even detail what I've done with this in this video. That'll be for another time, so I'll go ahead and shut this thing on down. Oh, and I forgot to mention, yes, I am using the same Kudo-chan base background, because I also use that on the Intel Compaq and even on the AMD Compaq too. I made the backgrounds back in 2022 when I got this Compaq. Again, I did not make the images, but I did make the background bases. But anyways, so now that's this done out of the way, I think we can move on to the next one. Alright, now this laptop right here, it's a lot like this one, but with a little bit more upgraded hardware. So this is the DB9620US laptop, so it's pretty much based on the 9000 series like this one, but the model number of this one, it's a lot similar to this one because it also ends with 20 US, because this one's a DB2620 US and this one's a 9620 US. So this is pretty much the big brother to this thing right here, just because of the model number. It matches. This is based on the 9500 series of DB9000 series laptops. You can see it's got a very thick latch here, unlike the other one, which is kind of like a little bit flushed. This one sticks out a bit often, and yeah, it still has all of its original spec stickers and stuff intact. And about this one originally came with an AMD Athlon 64X2 processor, and I believe 1.7 gigahertz. I swapped it out for a AMD Turion 64X2 TL60 at 2 gigahertz. And this one has the same 1.9 gig processor as this one, because it's pretty much the same hardware from this one, except in a 17-inch form factor. Anyways, I'm going to be plugging this thing into power, and I'll turn it on for you just to see what this thing has, because there's obviously something faulty with this thing that I'll show you for the first time, because I've shown this laptop before, but I haven't seen you guys well, I have not shown this thing starting up, so this is gonna be the first time that I'll be starting it up for you guys. So here we go. 3, 2, 1, smoke test. Starts up as normal. We'll take a look at the screen. Oh, what the heck? What the heck? That's Not something that I would expect. Earlier it was red. It was running red, but looks like because the blacks were replaced with red when I got it, but for some reason it went back to being black. I don't know. Maybe it's just because it was been sitting for a long while that I kind of fixed it. I do not know, but hey, at least it works. At least it works. Oh my goodness. I cannot imagine this myself, because when I got this thing the first time around, when I got this thing the first time around, because this was one of my recent acquisitions, I think this year. And this thing originally had like a red screen and such, because this thing, for some reason, the blacks are replaced with red. But right now, as we're seeing right here, everything looks pretty much normal for some reason. I think that's probably because it may have been sitting for a long while, and then it suddenly started to resolve itself. I do not know, but for some reason this thing suddenly started to for some reason this thing suddenly started to get back into working order. Or maybe because I may have taken one of the hard drives out. Whoa. Did you see that? I saw something red. Whoa, yeah, yep, that's what I was talking about. Yep. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. So that red thing right there, I'll try to make it stop on the red thing. Yep, that's what I was talking about. So I'm pretty sure there was something a little bit defective on the motherboard and such, but you know, maybe because of the video connectors and such, I do not know. But hey, it's still working as long as you can get the screen to not be all red and such. Oh, and yes, and I do want to mention this computer still has someone's personal data on it, so I will not be accessing it because it still has the previous owner's personal data on it, so I will not be able to show you whatever that's on it because of personal data. Anyways, yes, this thing's up and running. I will go ahead, and this one has a better trackpad than the other one, obviously, but yeah, I can go into that. I might as well go into the guest account. So let's see whose person used this. Yep, it's someone that just used this before. And let's block some startup programs. Oh. Huh. Yeah, I think it was probably something. It might have been, Norton Protection Center. Sorry that you guys are getting this, but I just kind of want to make sure I don't show this person's personal info. Personal stuff on it, the previous owner. And it's showing Norton stuff, but it is still running on its original install of Windows on here. Yeah, I'll go ahead and you know what, I'll just open up Notepad. Why not? Notepad, just to cover up any kind of personal info that was on the screen. It looks like, according to some of the year dates on this thing, this was probably last used in 2010. But yeah, I'm suspecting the red stuff is probably because of the bad screen connectors. and not the motherboard. I can also connect this thing up to an external monitor of some sorts. So I'll go ahead and do that now, just to see if the problem's excavated from this thing occurs on the other screen itself up. Sorry about this. I just want to get it up. Yep, it's connected. It's connected. I would likely assume, yep, it's powering off. And when I get on the thing on the screen, auto adjustment in progress. Okay, just duplicate my desktop on all displays. Mirrored. Yes, I'll go ahead and do that. Yeah, let me see. So yeah, we got the red stuff on here. And I don't see any red stuff on here. Ah, yes. I think I may have found the source to that red thing on there. I think the connections for the screen itself is faulty. It's not the motherboard or anything. It probably has to do with the screen. So this one is a screen related problem. It's similar to this one, only this time it's probably the connections. This one is just the backlight on the screen dying, whereas this one it's got the red stuff coming up that's replacing the blacks, so you can see that, and that's not occurring on the secondary monitor that I plugged into. It's not present. So yeah, this laptop does work. It's just the connections are really bad. The connections are bad on this thing because I pull it down like this and it seems to go away. So I'm pretty sure there's a bad connection with the... Yeah, there was a bad connection with the connectors on this thing. Anyways, I'll go ahead and reboot here. Oh, I don't want to... It needs to... This thing also does connect to the internet, obviously. It has a working wireless card, unlike the other one that I have on here. Because this one also has a wireless card, but it tends to go out every often or so. So this one has a faulty wireless card. I believe it's probably due to the motherboard chipset or something. I'm not too sure, but this one does have a working wireless card. And we can see the redness on it. But if I flip it down, look, it goes away as soon as I pulled it down like this. But yeah, so I'm led to believe that it is probably the connection. It's probably a faulty connection to the... Yeah, there's a faulty connection to the... from the screen to the computer itself, the laptop itself. Because even on this thing, it's still looking normal. So I flip this up and we can see red. This one here, I don't see red. So yeah, it has to do with the screen itself. Not the motherboard, not the chipset or anything. It's the screen. So I'll be likely replacing the screen and the connectors at some point, but not now. But anyways, yeah, this laptop is working as it is. I should also mention the fact that this thing is also running on 2 hard drives. 2 spinning hard drives, in fact. The original ones that came with this thing. So, yeah, because they're both running in a RAID configuration, obviously. I can also run it as just separate drives. And wow, this thing is taking longer than usual to shut down. But anyways, I'll go ahead and pause here and I'll catch you up on the other side once it goes to the other one. Yeah, take a look at that. Red screen. But if I flip it down here... Yep, the red goes away. The red goes away. Yep, we have a bad connection on the screen. That's what I found out. So, yeah, the screen works. It's just that there's a faulty connection. somewhere. And it's restarting. I'll have to like actually shut itself down. But yeah, it works. It's just the fact that this thing has a very faulty connection. But yeah. Alright, got the computer up and running here. And it's going into the it's slowly starting to go into the BIOS settings. Might be because of the spinning hard drives, but I am not too sure, because I haven't replaced them out with the SSDs that I have from this thing. But we'll see as soon as it gets into the BIOS, and then I can pretty much show you the red and black connection problems. Actually, I may be able to show you that right now. So right now it's looking normal, but if I tilt it up, yeah, it's black. Oh, it's red. There's definitely something wrong with the connection that's causing it to look like this. Earlier when I hit escape, and now we're showing the the BIOS details. Yep, I've held it down like this, and the black and the redness goes away. I can actually show that for you on here. Yep, and pull down here, and yep, we can see blackiness. And there's red. Yeah, here we are. Red, black, 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 black, black. Okay, I'm gonna stop that. I don't want to further deteriorate the video connections from the laptop screen to the computer, but wow, this is fairly slow at executing, but we can see stuff going on here. It might be because of the two hard drives set up on here. It's probably causing it, but who knows. BIOS version F2A build time. Wow. February 22nd, 2008. So that is probably yeah, that's my 6th birthday right there. I was 6 years old. I turned 6 years old on that time, that date, but who knows. Either way, I've already shown you the blackiness and the redness on this thing, because that has I found out during this 100 video special that the cause of this redness on the screen is to do with faulty video connectors for the screen. Because otherwise, when I plug it into an external monitor, I don't see the redness. It's just all black. And yes, the stuff that was projected on this thing is also being displayed on this thing, which is kind of interesting. Because I believe it didn't do that for this thing right here, but yeah. Either way, it's not going to go into the BIOS, unfortunately, so I am going to shut this thing on down, but yeah, that's what I was kind of getting at the red screen, which I now found out it's to do with the video connectors. Well, you learn something new. Learn something new every day. Well, not every day, but occasionally. Either way, so now that's done out of the way. Let's move on to the last couple of items in my retrocomputing collection, shall we? Alright, and so we're on to the last 3 items. I pretty much saved these ones for the last, and here they are. So these are my recent acquisitions. I think last month, I would likely assume, but these are the 3 Dell desktops that I received from my big brother when he was clearing up space, and now I have them here. Alongside that, I do also have I do also have 3 monitors and 1 TV, obviously, also from my big brother when he was clearing out space. But yeah, he's lent me a lot of these stuff here for me to tinker around and play around with, and I'm very grateful about that, because especially for that one right there that we'll get into in a bit. But obviously, these are Dell OptiPlexes. These are probably one of the first. Well, these are the first Dell OptiPlexes in my collection. Now, these are pretty much newer, a lot newer than all the other computers in my retrocomputing collection. But basically, I have 2 OptiPlex 775 desktop PCs here. Pretty much in this form factor, and these 2 all came with Windows XP Professional, obviously. But one of them came with a Windows XP COA. I believe it's this one, and then this one came with a Windows Vista Business COA. Both came pre-installed with Windows XP Professional, because this was back in the time when Dell was offering computers with either XP or Vista. Obviously, most people preferred XP as their operating system of choice, because, well, everything to do with Vista, even then and now. But anyways, these 2 computers do start up, but they didn't post for whatever reason. Likely might be due to the motherboard or the RAM or something, but I'm not too sure. I did power these up when I received them, and well, I took both hard drives out of this thing and put it on the other computer, and yeah, they all booted into it, and it contained remnants of a project that my brother was in at the time. But anyways, yeah, these computers power on, but they won't post. But the one computer that did work is this thing. This has been my latest pride and joy, obviously, because this thing is somewhat well, not special, but it's pretty interesting. This is the Dell OptiPlex 980. Thank you, camera, getting it focused, because I am recording this on an iPhone 8 Plus, not on my usual iPhone 11 Pro Max, because I have limited storage. But anyways, yep, this is the Dell OptiPlex 980, released in the early 2010s. Yeah, and this thing has a Core i5, as you can see right here. Intel Core i5 with vPro technology. It's a Core i5 that runs at, I believe, 3.2 gigahertz. And it does have an NVIDIA GeForce 8600 GT video card in it, which it's an older card, but it works in here because it's PCI Express. And this thing came pre-installed with Windows 7, though I did check on the I did check up on Dell's website about this particular model, because I typed in its service tag and everything. I was able to find everything that used to came with this thing. So what I found out is that this came with Windows 7 Professional, but it also said something else. Aside from saying Windows 7 Professional, it also said something that says downgraded to Windows XP Professional Service Pack 3. So yes, believe it or not, this thing can run Windows XP. Even though it has a Windows 7 COA on it, this thing can also run Windows XP. So around here, this is where the diagnostic lights would show up, and then this is the power button. pretty atypical. And here's a standard run-of-the-mill DVD CDRW DVD-RW combo drive. Got blanks for 3.5 and 5.25. And we got 2 USB 2.0 ports and a microphone and headphone ports. And let me move all this stuff out of the way and all these computers out of the way and get this one focused, because this is pretty much the showstopper. Well, not showstopper, the ending point for my 100 video special. So yeah. All right, got the Dell OptiPlex moved here for me taking a look at it. I did move these out of the way for the time being, and I do want to correct on the COAs that came with this thing. This one came with the Windows Vista Business COA, and this one came with the Windows XP COA. Again, both of these came pre-installed with Windows XP Professional, as I checked when I checked their service tags. And this one came shipped with it came shipped with Windows 7 Professional, but can be downgraded to Windows XP Professional Service Pack 3, which is interesting. But yeah, I've already taken a look at what's on the front. Obviously, on the top we have a service tag. So there's a service tag if you're curious. It also contains a manufacturing date. So this computer was manufactured in May 28th of 2010. So this is an early 2010s Dell OptiPlex. So this contains one of the first generation Intel Core i5s out there. So we take a look at the back. Here's our port layouts, and this one is a fanless power supply. So it's pretty much like a silent power supply, pretty much. And what we got here as far as ports go, obviously that is for the wireless card, which I could potentially add in here, but not now. We got that looks like yeah, that's probably the headphone port. Well, that's the audio in port, audio out port, and then the microphone input, and that's the audio input. And this one also acts as line in too, because you can see the markings. We got like 6 additional USB 2.0 ports in the back, and an Ethernet port, RJ45 Ethernet port. We got a serial port. We got a VJ port for the integrated graphics that's on the CPU. We got eSATA. We got parallel printer port, and behind this blank on here is a display port. Interesting. I think that's probably for the integrated graphics though. So I'm gonna cover that up. And we got your standard PS/2 mouse and keyboard ports. You know, these 2 OptiPlexes here don't have PS/2 inputs, but this one does. And these are the ports for the video card that's in here, obviously. Alright, now that that's all done out of the way, let's open this thing up, shall we? Now, wow, this camera's really out of focus. Why is that? Alright, so Dell OptiPlexes of this type have an interesting way of opening up the cases. And to do that, all you have to do is just like lift this latch like that and then pull down. Simple as that. It's probably a lot easier than those Compaq systems over there. Sorry, the brightness is just way up, but yeah, opening up a Dell OptiPlex of this type and age, it is a lot easier than those early 2000s Compaq systems over there. While those are somewhat easier, somewhat easy to pull out the side panels. It can be a bit tedious, especially for my Intel Compaq, which I tend to have problems with opening the side panels for that, but this one is a lot easier to pull it off. But anyways, that's the inside. And what we can take a look at here, well, it's not that much. I do have, what was that, 4 gigs of RAM installed on this thing. Because originally this thing came with 16 gigs of RAM, but it was causing some problems. It's causing some memory issue problems. So I eventually stuck with the 4 gig that was working. But yeah, I did clean this out. I did clean both this, and this out, obviously, before I brought them in, but yeah. Anyways, the CPU is looking under this very big heat sink, and that's the graphics card, which is NVIDIA it's an EVGA NVIDIA eGeForce 8600 GT, which I can turn it upside down for you so that we can see the label. Yep, it's an EVGA eGeForce 8600 GT. So we have the first generation Tesla based NVIDIA GeForce card in here. It still works. You know, this card was originally on the bottom PCIe slot, which is actually linked to PCIe X4. This one's now plugged into the PCIe X16 slot, the native one. So, yeah. Oh, and this thing also has an SLI connection on there too, but yeah. Oh, and there's the there's the hard drive that I put in here for the time being, because there is no hard drive. There's no hard drive to the system when I got it, but it still has the hard drive bracket for it, the 3.5-inch bracket for a hard drive. This is what it looks like. I'll probably get a 3.5-inch hard drive or even like a 3.5-inch adapter for like a 2.5-inch hard drive or solid state drive. That may come in the future, but you know, I can also have up to like 2 hard drives in here, just like I can with the early 2000s Compaq systems. That will come from another time. But at the moment, I have this. It's plugged into SATA. It's a Seagate Monumentus thin 320 gig hard drive that I've been using in here for the time being. It works. It works, obviously, especially for it being like a SATA drive. Close it up. Even closing it up is a bit easier too. But yeah, I guess that's about it. Oh, and I forgot to mention some of the things that I've shown in this video. Most importantly, this monitor right here. This is the monitor that came out of my HP Pavilion desktop that I use since 2008. My dad still has it, obviously, including my childhood Compaq too. So yeah, so this is the monitor that originally came with my HP Pavilion desktop, and now I have it here. So yeah, either way, yeah, that's pretty much all I have in my retro computing collection. So basically, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 computers in my retro computing collection. It'll probably only grow from here on out when I get more, if I had the time and money to do so. But anyways, yeah, that about wraps up for this 100 video special, obviously. And yeah, I do want to say one more, sorry about that. I recently reached up to 600, over 600 subscribers. As of right now, I'm over 606. I replaced those sixes with the G's. That's pretty much like GOG or something. You probably know what GOG means, obviously, in the context of gaming, but yeah. Anyways, yeah, without rambling on too much, I thank you guys for watching this 100 video special, obviously. It has taken me like 2 or 3 weeks to do this. Yep, as I said in the video, but yeah. Anyways, that about wraps up for this 100 video special. So, I thank you guys so much for watching this very, very long video. It's probably about like an hour now, but yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I hope to see you all in the next one. See you later.